Oh, screw you guys. Like, holy hell. Um, okay. Been talking about lack of impact. That entire last section, at least until that part where I started enjoying the game again, all impact. Like ridiculously impactful, very emotional. Good lord. And like the ugliest of emotions. So here's the thing. When I bitch about female characters, it's because most again, don't want to sound like this, but most of them never earn their shit. And I have learned that when I see a female like trying to fight and like really fighting and they still lose, I hate it like even more than a guy who fought so hard, right? Um, because if it's the case that a female is actually fighting, usually are like a super underdog, right? But my god, did they make these women fight? I just felt bad for everybody, man. Like Jesus. Um, man, I mean, I'm gonna mute the music, but it's beautiful. Jesus, I don't know what the hell to talk about. That was such a depressing freaking ending. Like if people hate, oh, got quiet. If people hated like the first one because of this unsteady ending, holy mother hell. Um, yeah, man, I'd recommend it as like a movie. It's a little harder to recommend as a game. You know what? I don't know. I really do love the first game. I need this one to sink in, and I think it's just because it's so freaking depressing. This is the third movie, or like this is the losing movie. I don't know if they're making a third, whatever. Um, God, like okay, so I've been watching more people do let's plays, and I've been trying to like gauge like, do I want to actually listen to this person play a game and talk? And so I've been watching their first Last of Us, right? And literally, I just need to know the reaction to like Sarah, right? I need to know if they're gonna let themselves like give themselves to the game. And a lot of them said, and I was surprised to see this, but I get it. Like I get that I'm a little more hardened to it, or at least just more accepting of it. But some of them are just like straight up, yeah, I can't play this game. Like, how am I supposed to play a game where I'm gonna be crying and watching like beloved characters and like Sarah, like early on, I was like, yeesh, you're gonna have a lot of trouble. And I get it. It's almost like horror movies. How some people just cannot watch horror movies because they don't get any joy from it, right? And this is weird to say, but I do get like, yeah, I mean, people would agree. Like, I get a joy out of things that make me feel something, even if it's like shit feelings, right? But yeah, like some of them are just. I know some of them still continue because they just like their job. But a lot of them wanted to clock out. They were just like, I don't want to play this. I don't want to play something like depressing as hell and violent. I don't want to do that. And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of getting that more and more. I'm surprised this game went like as far as it went. I kind of would have still preferred the tone to be a little more consistent throughout. Um, and just kind of like the entire time we're like, wow, Ellie, you're getting dark. I never got like that, but yeah, in that final part, like I thought it was kind of interesting that she cut Abby down at all. It does suck. Like, I mean, Abby didn't have a lot of energy, but not a lot of talking. Like I don't know. It doesn't fit with their character to beg for her life, but none of that shit fit with her character. Her being this weak, this small. I think I don't know if that was like their little punch to it. Like they're like, here, we're gonna get him with the swinger here. But like, yeah, seeing Abby like that is depressing as a mother hell. Like, no offense to Lev. Lev's skinny already. Lev looked like Lev already. I know he's probably worse off, but Lev looked like Lev. Abby looked nothing like Abby. They let the other bitch keep her braid. How come Abby couldn't keep her braid? Like she put up. I mean, most likely she put up so much of a fight. They were like, screw her. Um, yeah, that last fight, like I suck at melee. I'm perfectly fine with gun combat, give or take some really shitty aiming. Um, I suck at the melee. It almost kind of sucks at the melee was like the final sequence. That was very reminiscent of Uncharted 4, but Uncharted 4 is like, they did that. It was tense, but it was fun. Like there was this liveliness to it. Nah, man, this one was ugly. Like this reminds me of like Revenant, right? That little final bout where it's just like, dude, this fight is moving fast. Like it is not an entertaining. It's entertaining, but it's not an entertaining fight. It's a cold brawl, right? That's something I really adored about like Civil War. That final fight was like so nasty. Spider-Man 3 even like just these the way they kind of changed it to like less stylish. Even though the fighting in here has always been brutal. Um yeah, I don't know, like there were just no weapons, just straight up brawling, and it's like we're choking, we would have eye gouged if we could. It's just like, hey, and the sad part is, and this is of course the saddest part, um, it's at Ellie. Like, and we already knew that, but the fact is, Abby's kind of done. She kind of got her revenge. So in a way, like, yeah, of course she's done with it. Like they hate, but yeah, she's like done with the hate, with the anger, and she's kind of free. And it's Ellie holding on, and I'm so sad we don't get like maybe there's an extra scene. I don't freaking know. Everyone does extra scenes now. I'm trying to let it all sink in, guys. I enjoyed the game very much. There was just that little center area. It's those long combat sections. I bet you I would have hated, at least been more stressed for that ending if I didn't just like kind of run it through and play super aggressive. It's just that the thing is like the game is both no, the game is super controlled in terms of like how fast you can move through it. At least that's what it feels like. The psychology I'm getting is that you don't want to be super aggressive because you don't get a lot of supplies. But at the same time, there's a lot of supplies that you might not need, but they're going to be letters. And if you want to engage into the game and you act like if you care about that, especially since I'm doing Let's Plays, like I wouldn't have read like half that shit if I wasn't doing a Let's Play, which is maybe a pro, maybe a con. It's both. Um, yeah, I don't know. There's just so much and yet not enough actual downtime, right? To like between combat sections. That I think that's my only real complaint and then, like, other than that, it's just information hiding. I really hated like this. Why is Abby doing this? What's wrong with Lev? What's some more? Just like all these random, like, oh, we're not gonna tell you about this, and I'm just like, but you did, and it was like stupid. Like it's only stupid because you, like, built it up in this weird way. Some of the scenes didn't hit as hard as I wanted them to. A lot of them did though. Mm, I think I've heard that name. Man, I'm just gonna like talk. I don't. It's like killing me. Short Baker still got top credits. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm very happy no Ghost still. I know I was bitching about that early on. Clearly, that was not the case. That was Jeffrey Wright. Is that that? I don't like that actor. Is that why I recognize his voice? In his defense, I always thought his voice was like super fake. I guess he just sounds like that, but it bugs me. In here, it makes sense because he sounds like he's voice acting. Um, oh man, guys, trying to think about the entire game. Like Dina grew on me. I don't think as strong, but I understand her role. Like I care about her as much as I would care as any girlfriend of their main character, right? Like what she represents and what she represents to us and to the character both as a dynamic and like just representing happiness, right? I think it's sad that she moved back to Jackson. But yeah, of course she moved back to Jackson. We just left her on this freaking farm with her kid. She needs like some help and all the farm work. Um, yeah. And also just like an extra little knife and a personal note. I've always had like that. I love doing dishes with people. I don't know why. Like there's something about doing a chore that feels like family, right? When you're just working together with someone and you're helping the household. So that I don't want to say that's like the dream, but that is something I would really that would hurt me a lot. I would like in a good way to be able to do dishes with someone, but then to fucking lose them, ugh. Um, yeah, that ending was super depressing. It's a personal hit with her losing her fingers. For someone like me who does enjoy, like I haven't played guitar in a long time because I don't have one on me right now. But yeah, I would love. I hated when I lost my like ability to use my finger because like it was like a deep cut, so I couldn't fold my finger basically like at all. And now my other finger is kind of at risk. I don't know if I brought that up. Hasn't slowed me down. Uh, but yeah, I would just like at the same time, I don't know. I don't want to talk about that. But yeah, everything like they punished the mother fudge out of Ellie, right? Like I don't even think Joel got that punished. Like, okay. In his defense, Joel had to spend a lot of time without Ellie. I think it is like even more bittersweet that Ellie wanted to forgive him than she was gonna try. And Yeah, that's what she wrote. She was like, I was gonna keep my promise. Yeah, and that's is that why she was drunk? She was drinking with Joel. So I'm glad Joel had presence. Obviously, only really in Ellie's side. Like again, Abby's. It works in a weird way that Abby is so disconnected because she's like, she doesn't give a shit. It hurts her as well because I do feel really mad a little bit. Like Abby didn't say like I'm sorry, I get it or anything like that. Like you understand, like anything. She didn't try to talk to Ellie at all. I don't know if it was just this understanding of like I'm not gonna talk to you because I know it doesn't matter. I was you, right? I don't know. Like I think that if that's what they were going for, then they did it subtle. Sometimes I find poetry in where there's not supposed to be, but that's my ability. Yeah, because she didn't talk to Ellie like at all, and she only fought to protect Lev, and even that was sad because she didn't even want to fight. She wasn't like she had nothing smart to say. She was just weak. I have no idea how long she was there, but my god, they looked just awful. I still don't know if Lev is alive. Is this Ashley Johnson singing? I love Ashley Johnson's voice. Yeah, that I don't know. I don't know. Again, I realize I've been listening to Ashley Johnson for like my entire life. I have just been listening to this girl's voice through so many iterations of characters. I don't know if that gave Ellie like more strength. I don't even know if that's the same for Troy Baker because I know he does. I think he does like English stuff for animes. And I don't watch a lot of English stuff for animes, not anymore. Um, but yeah, like I don't know if he does American cartoons, but if he does, I've been listening to his voice too. But oh man, I want to like listen to the song, but I want to talk too. Her voice is so sweet. I'm definitely adding this to my stuff. It's gonna make me cry. Her voice is like I'm like too into her voice. Like it bugs me that when I watch like a scene of Ashley Johnson crying like in person, like I freaking die. I'm like, oh, you're breaking my heart, girl. She also has like really beautiful eyes. Um, man, I'm gonna be too distracted now. Yeah, Abby did not want to fight, and like it was depressing seeing Abby like that. In a way, no. I think Ellie still got it worse with the finger biting, but Jesus. Yeah. So again, like when I talk about I don't think I hated a single female character in here. Right. I feel like I need to put that on myself now because I've been bitching about female characters so many times because these super popular ones, I'm like, why do they have to do this? Why do they have to say that line or like act like this? And then why is this their conclusion? Like, how did the guy end up in the wrong? It's always like this long thing. Like this, okay. Like, her voice is so nice. I can't even be angry. Oh, it's too soothing. Okay. You know what? You know what? I'm gonna refer you to Bill Burr. Bill Burr had this thing about arguing with women, and the sad thing is, like, I've been seeing that in film, and it bugs me. Right? It's just nature of the worst of females. But I've been seeing that in like film, and this is what I'm talking about. The girl will be wrong. The girl will do something wrong, and she'll accept that she's wrong. But as she accepts it, the guy will fire upon her. You will hear every filthy word you can call a woman in a row. It's like a super combo. And that man will now be the asshole of this situation. Oh my god, is that Troy Baker singing too? Oh my god. Yes. I actually kind of wanted that. I was so afraid we were never going to see them sing together because they both play guitar and sing. Is this it? Is this the end of it? God, man, this guy can lower his voice. Hmm. That's a voice that takes you in, guys. Man, oh yeah, I'm too distracted with the song. I'll keep on going. It's gonna be long, but I want to keep talking. Might be 2 hours. I don't know about 2 hours. Let's see. Mm. It's like, and the thing is, like, it doesn't sound perfect. That's the thing. Like it's perfectly imperfect. It's just cheesy, but you know what I mean? It's like when you hear singers that don't sound like singers, so it doesn't feel like it's an art. It feels like it's just pure in its own right. Oh my god. Ugh. This thing is gonna destroy me. Hearing his voice, that's a lot of freaking stuff to read. Mm. Yeah, so like I like that they're both not like singing, but they're singing. Yeah, there's something about like it's hard for me to like find music now because there's just too much perfection in the singing and in instrumentation, let's say. And we're losing like that human flaw aspect that kind of brings out like a hit. Like, oh my god, I just heard Iroh's song. Oh, man, put on the docs. Ah, screw you. That's not happening. Uh, all right, where do I start, guys? I thought it was pretty fantastic. I'm letting it sink in more and more, and there are like very few things I dislike about it. That's the thing. I like I I've been using that phrase like you can hate something but love something more, right? And so yeah, the parts I disliked about the game, I don't hate them as much as I love other aspect. And I loved a lot more of the game. I don't know what it was. Like I feel really bad saying this because I know people just don't like her. But again, that's how they introduced her not as that kind of character, but I get it. It's fine. When Abby's story started, the game picked up. All right. I don't know what it was. Dina like cutting the immunity secret with her pregnant secret and then Jesse coming. It all felt really oddly, stupidly convenient in a very disgusting way. Like, what? So she finds out she's pregnant with Jesse's kid, and now we're finding Jesse because Jesse's looking for Tommy, and then like we never even find like I don't know. There was just this really forced. Okay, again, I swear Abby's story was written first, and then Ellie's was like made to fit it. I don't know what it is. There is something much more coherent about Abby's story, and I think it's because Abby's story is free from Ellie's. I think Abby's story starts with killing Joel, and then it's completely free from Ellie's. Whereas Ellie's is so focused, right? Like there's this sloppiness to Ellie's side, and it's not good. I don't know why. Like I've explained myself why, but I don't know why it feels so ugly. The way we found her friends, the way we didn't find her friends, and how everything kind of flew. That's whatever, stitched together. Flowed. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Flew. I'm a moron. Abby's story like fixed the game for me. I don't know what it is. Like it felt like playing a classic Naughty Dog game. The way it moved along, the way there wasn't like any large hub or anything like weird like that. It started off like that. And I think that's the only thing that hurt it was that we started off like that with Ellie, right? But Ellie's design and everything, it feels kind of after the fact. I don't know what it is. And I keep on saying that, but I know what it is. It feels after the fact. It feels very loose, disconnected, and forced to move into these certain areas because obviously there's the goal of it. Maybe her goal is less realistic than Abby's. Like finding Abby and doing all this stuff doesn't seem as clean, right? And then I did feel like they were protecting Ellie from darkness like a lot of the times. I know she was doing dark stuff, but they would do it in this really it's the same way I don't like again, I keep on saying female characters, but know that I mean just like any character in general. How they it's okay. It's the equivalent of the hero wanting to kill the villain, then the hero's like, nah, I'm a good person. And then something happens that the villain ends up dying kind of by the hero's hand. Let's say the hero even tries to save the villain, but something happens. The villain goes full dummy. I want to say the R word, but I feel like I might offend people with that. Um, the villain goes full dummy, kills himself. Right? You know what I'm talking about. You've seen it. You've seen it a lot of times. Right? Check those Disney movies out. And like, I can still forgive the stuff for that. But again, like a story like this, where there seems to be like no mercy, especially with the opening of Joel. That's all I got was like this is a merciless game. Like your characters are gonna be in freaking pieces by the end of this, right? And don't get me wrong, I'm glad they spared some characters. Some people thought Tommy straight up died, which that was always a possibility. So they were like really happy to find him alive, and then he gotta, hey, you don't want me to be alive. Man, oh, Jesus, but yeah, I don't know where I'm going. Yeah, they just protected Ellie so much. Whereas this is true. This is true. They did not protect Abby from her goodness, from the light. They did not. And like almost anytime, like they showed her nightmares and they showed that she's like it didn't they didn't improve her life, right? And like even I know Mars didn't like Owen, and I get it. It doesn't matter what the hell you do. You cheat on your girl, and everyone fucking hates you. It's fine. Owen is actually he was like he's the only reason this game exists, right? He's stupid, but he's very kind, and his kindness cost him, which is why I'm very upset. Again, like knowing Owen as a character, it's the first thing he would have said. Please don't kill her. Please don't hurt us. She's pregnant. We're not. We don't want to fight, right? Or even I saved you, right? Please don't do this. Anything that didn't feel like, oh no, it needs to be Ellie's story, so he's gonna try to grab the gun and all this crap. Not once. Does that not bug you? Not once did he say she's pregnant until he's like, okay, I'm bleeding now. Now's the time to say it. Now the subtitles can't even tell what I'm saying. Yeah, so stuff like that I didn't care for. Um, I mean, it sucks seeing Joel like on the receiving end of Ellie's negative emotions almost the entirety of the game. Uh, But like, yeah, I did feel like he lost his presence. So did Ellie. Ellie lost all her presence, but it fits with Abby's story. That's why I kind of wish we switched them off. Um, Maybe that would have been more annoying. Like, I'm not doubting that they tried that, right? There's clearly like sections where people thought they were gonna switch over to Abby just because they had done it earlier, and it probably was like that. I'm not crazy enough to think like they couldn't just switch things around and they were like, oh no, this is how it should be played. And in a way, I'll admit this. I haven't seen too many people because this game is long, guys. If I watch a bunch of Let's Plays of this, I'm just gonna lose like the entire week, month, everything. Oh yeah, I get to play a new game, guys. I'm very excited about that. But yeah, I haven't seen too much of that. What I understand, everyone fucking hates Abby when the game starts off and we see Abby, and it's the situation. It's the situation of not only is she kind of bitter looking, a lot of them find her hot as well, girls mostly. And I'm not seeing a lot of men. I haven't seen a lot of men do let's plays. I've only talked to men. It's probably why I watch let's plays of women solely. I don't know. Um, yeah. Okay. What am I going with? Yeah. So everyone hates Abby, and I believe, and I get it. The situation of those people saved your asses. You're torturing and murdering him. Then you add on the fact that Joel is a beloved character from the first game. You add on the fact that she did it in front of Ellie, and you just keep like she has no chance. I will say this. I feel like if we traded off, I think I'm mature enough. Because I didn't hate Abby. I was just like, clearly she's got a reason. It's wrong to do this. But clearly she's got enough hate in her for some particular thing that Joel did to do this. And I could have guessed a bunch of them. I thought it'd be a little larger than life, but they grounded it straight up. You killed my father. I want to kill you. Perfectly fine with that, right? I didn't hate Abby until like and when she's mean, it's just annoying. She's like, "Hey, fuck you. I'm tough." I'm like, we know you're tough. Look at you. We can see what you can do. You don't have to tell us. You don't have to act tough when you're already tough, right? Am I crazy? um, yeah. So everyone hated Abby in that situation. But I think because you just spend such a chunk, my lord, I was like, dude, Abby, Ellie doesn't exist anymore. It's just Abby now. Yeah, you get attached to Abby. I got attached to Abby. I understand people still some may not like her. I mean, again, the guys they don't get this character, and I do think it has to do with her not apologizing at the end because, like, I don't know, it's she's on that line of I want to apologize to the daughter I left as a victim, but it also feels like if I apologize to that, I'm like sacrificing my father, right? Like if I admit that this was wrong, I admit that it was wrong to get justice, right? Like justice and revenge, yeah, they're different, but they can. It's not that they're the same thing, but they can happen at the same time. Someone can get justice while someone's getting revenge, right? Technically, Joel got some justice. Okay, that was long overdue. We knew that was coming, but Abby got revenge. Okay, so her father got justice, Abby got revenge, and to say one of them is wrong is to say that both of them are wrong, right? Yeah, there was a movie. I think it's called 7 Days. It might be a spoiler, but basically at the end, I just loved like the last line was, he did something. He got someone back, for again a reason very similar to this. Um, and when he finally gave himself up, they asked him was like, "Do you regret what you did?" I do. So you admit that you were so you admit that this was wrong, and he says no. And that's it. And I was like, yeah, I don't understand why people think like wrong, like you know what I mean? They're simplifying the complexities of situations. Like this, that sex scene. First of all, okay, I get it. So it was kind of graphic, and I understand like that's not something you expect inside a game. But I thought it was a great piece of character development. I sound pervy, I guess. Like even how they did it, it fit with their characters and their emotions, and like what I got from that was that Owen was leaving. Like, yeah, Abby's aware that she's a piece of shit, which is probably why it hurts when Mel calls her that. She knows that she's ugly and angry, and that's why she wants to change, right? And that's where we get to the point. That's why it's sad to see villains or like even like yeah, villains die like right after redemption. It's because it's too much work to write that in. And then when you have characters who are redeemed, I know Snape gets a lot of shit now, but Snape does come to mind in terms of, oh, that's a different coloring on your character. No, but he kind of went out. He's more tragic for me. I want to consider that a redeeming character. I have to make this argument now because some girl was like, I fucking hate Snape. He's such an asshole. Okay, whatever. But like Zuko, here. Can we agree about Zuko? Let's talk about Zuko. It's a very easy selection, but when people talk about him as one of the greatest redeemed characters, I'm like, cause he got a chance to, right? Like you know what I mean? You know, you guys know what I mean. That like a villain usually redeems themselves by dying straight away. I'll do one good thing and I'll die. That's like if and I'm like I get it. If it fits within the moment, I'm perfectly fine with it. But if it feels like okay, you didn't really have to die, like you just they just didn't want to write you anymore. Like that's how some of them feel. And so like Abby does like that. Abby gets to live past that, right? And I am a very bitter person sometimes. So like I was gonna write a song. It's like you don't deserve to change. Like I don't want you to be redeemed. Like if I knew you as a demon and that's what you were, by my hatred, you should die as a demon. That's how I hate you, right? You don't deserve to kill yourself and become something new. That's super bitter thinking, right? And I feel like that's the same case here. Like why should Abby get to change? The thing is, I didn't approach Abby with hatred. Like I was like, all right. I was a little more upset with Joel. That's the dumb part. I was really upset with Joel. That I was like, you know what, Abby? I don't know why you're doing this, but he gave it to you. Okay. So maybe it was a little easier for me to like, all right, just tell me your story, Abby, which she didn't for like 14 hours. I was just hanging with Ellie and Dina. Man, I'm so upset. Yeah, that ending, I actually think it's really good. Again, I didn't need a happy ending for Ellie, but I didn't want like the tragic ending that we got. And it felt tragic, but they did try to clean it up a little bit with like she was gonna forgive Joel, and that kind of just it's just more hatred, right? And again, it comes off as information hiding, but you know what? That's one of their good ones, right? Because we knew that they were gonna hang out. That was always like that's how we started the game. But then when we got all this stuff, we were just like, oh, okay. So she figured out, and she was very distant from Joel, and that also colored it. I like a lot of that because like yeah, she basically had treated Joel like nothing, not even like shit, just nothing. She treated him like nothing for like the longest time, and now she has to deal with that. And then on top of that, she was finally maybe going to accept him as a father figure again, right? Um, yeah. I do wish Joel would have said a little. I mean, Joel basically said it, but I don't like it. Even when I'm like that, I don't like hearing people, characters, anyone saying they like their life is like doesn't matter, and it's because of this focus on greatness. Like, don't get me wrong, I want to be fucking great, right? I could almost care less about being good than being great, and that's like I know that's a problem I have, but when you're a good person, when you're an actual good person, which I do, Ellie's a better person than Abby is, right? Because she didn't complete. she doesn't need to complete her revenge. That's what she decided. But Abby still needed to complete hers to actually like figure out that's not what she wanted. But Ellie didn't, which is why I'm kind of sad she didn't get like rewarded. She only got punished, give or take her soul, if you want to talk about metaphorical sense. Um, yeah, when good people that we know, you know what I mean, you've seen these characters. When good people like that talk about how they don't matter, oh, it enrages me. Like I don't know. I don't know how to say this. I will get romantic with my poetry to like prove you wrong. Like it's such bullshit. And I know Joel's not that character, but yeah, like you know, I mean, that's his daughter. Like, ah, yeah, the ending was heartbreaking. I don't know. It's almost emotionally disturbing to watch Ellie play her guitar without her fingers. There's so much to talk about. This thing is so freaking long because it's like a TV. It's some movie. It's actually it felt like a movie, which was great. I freaking miss movies. But lengthwise, it's a 25-hour movie, right? Which is funny because that's kind of what TV shows are now. But there's just so much to talk about. Um, Honestly though, I'm kind of curious if I watched like a cutscene collection, like a non-gameplay collection, give or take set pieces. Wonder how long this game actually is. I do feel like so much time was taken up either by the stuff like the combat, losing the combat, and then scavenging and just like exploring, which is fine. It's not really my thing. I do adore my linear games. Hell, dude, I love 10-hour games. 9, 10-hour games, like something I can get almost done in a week. Because, like, if they're averaged at 9 or 10, I'm usually good enough to like get it done a few hours earlier. Because I just don't, let's say, to not fully brag, you know what? Screw it. I'm a competent gamer. I've been gaming for a very long fucking time. I like to think I'm pretty good at this like standard gameplays, and figuring things out. But yeah, I also just don't engage as much as like let's say my sister. My sister, oh, my sister plays games for like years. She's a Mass Effect person. You know what I mean? Those people, those stupid freaking people. Mass Effect 2 is good, but yeah, I can't do that. Like I can, but I don't want to. So this game is like 3 times as long as like my average, like the game I would prefer, which is why I was loving indie games. As you guys know, indie games are short. They are beautifully short, and I love them. So and I can like remember all of it. So yeah, my fear for this game was Ghost Joe. That was my big fear, and that was kind of driven by trailers, right? Those lying piece of crap trailers. Um, they were really hiding Joel, which is why I figured, like, again, that's why I figured Joel was gonna die. First of all, everyone hated the game when it came out, but before that, there was like no Joel, and it felt like they only had Joel to appease people. And yeah, they had this scene with Ellie like begging, and then it was like it looked awful, like the position she was in and everything. I don't know. I wonder if they changed story direction somewhere along the way just because like the first ever trailer where she's just playing the guitar again, that's why I thought there was going to be a darker tone, right? That's why I thought we were going to leave Dina because Dina was the light, right? Dina really, again, I don't love her, but she's super likable, and she is a fine character, and she represents everything she's supposed to represent. She does it well without coming off lifeless. I'm pretty sure no one wants to write a lifeless female character. It is now a freaking sin, right? And I'm not gonna say like all like Nora, she's okay. Mel, she's okay, but I wouldn't say they were like, ugh, what an awful female character. I think they were fine, right? And I know a female character, and it's not what I'm trying to say. Awful character. It's just they happen to be females. Like Owen. Owen was actually really. I liked Owen. Manny is had a little more personality than some of the girls. I'm trying to think of other characters. Yeah, yeah, I forgot that one guy playing the PSP with the cut across his face. He was nothing. That was a nothing character. I don't even know. He's not Danny because that's the one that Owen killed. I don't even know his name. Manny? No, see that's the other guy. Hmm. Andy. I don't know. Uh, yeah. So like, I actually really like Abby's character. I'm curious why people don't, but I understand it. If they can't get over either her design, which I think is too superficial, but yeah, if they can't get over the fact that I want to say she's hypocritical. Like again, at the end, like she comes off hypocritical, but I wouldn't say she's hypocritical. It's just that every time we see her talk, she's like emotionally charged. So yeah, she's gonna say some weird shit. Um, oh man, but I thought they used that perfectly in the most depressing way. Just I can't get over seeing small Abby like, and then we didn't even let it get. I didn't get to let it sink in. That's the thing too. That was genius. There are some moments in genius. Okay, yeah. Let me. I want to think about them. I'm gonna forget. Small ones. Holding R2 to like take out your arrow or R1, whatever. My control scheme is different. Screw y'all. Holding R2 to remove the arrow, like that's what we were taught. Okay, okay. First example of this, early and last, not early, late in Last of Us is when you do triangle to like lift Ellie up the wall, but then she just ignores you. Love it. I love it when a game does that because a game it's very specific to a game to do that. And they were doing a lot of those, by the way. Yeah, let me talk about those. But like when a game sells you a mechanic, sells you a pattern, and then completely breaks it to just like keep you on your toes, if not like make that moment stand out ridiculously. I love it. Like Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons does something like that, and it makes the entire ending of the game like super depressing. But yeah, like that's the example here. Okay. And a lot of these were suggestions. That was funny. Okay, yeah. Them taking out your what's it, your work table, right? Actually jumping you on the work table, hated it. It was freaking loved it. It was great. I never felt fucking safe at a table again. Um, and I love that. That's the tone they sold. Like you're not safe. Get over it. Again, just imagine like if Resident Evil 2, if they just if imagine what's his name, Mr. X, like he just comes in to your safe room, you'd be like, okay, this game, no, 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 right? Would love it. Just this one room just gets taken down. Don't do it ever again, you know? Like build you'll never get that trust back from us, but you definitely tested it. You're testing it the entire time now. That was awesome. I love that. Second one, yeah, was the arrow pulling. There's more. There's more. I just can't remember any of them. All of them. The arrow pulling on the enemy, that was sick because that felt I don't know, there's something like beautiful about using an action that you already know is the action. It's almost the same as when it's like the cool version of shooting during the set piece because like you're just like this is not a shooting section. I'm not walking. Oh wait, no, I can aim and shoot. I'm playing how I've been playing the game in a very different medium. I don't know. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And so the third one that I can remember is when Ellie goes into death animation with the bloater and it gets cut off like everyone recognizes that camera angle and that animation. Like they know Ellie's about to get her face ripped off. And then Joel cuts it in. Oh, dude, that's sick, man. Like the way you play with the characters' minds, it's amazing. I love that. I like Evil Within. I probably only enjoyed Evil Within just for that because they would screw with you so much, and I loved it. I was so mad and happy. Like I was just like, oh my god, you bastards. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to. I want to watch some reviews. I understand the story's a little bit sloppy, but it just comes off really depressingly dark. Like I don't know. I want to search up some reviews because I haven't heard a lot of positive things about this. Except that's the thing too. Maybe I just heard the critics too much, and the critics kind of brainwashed like my friends. That happens. Okay, like I'm sorry. Every time I have to say, I'm gonna say it to Market. Unpopular opinion. Okay, maybe I didn't hate it. I did not like that new Batman movie, and I knew I was. I don't want to sound like I'm just being a contrarian or anything like that. I hate that phrase. Um, what a fancy phrase to be saying like I disagree, but no, I thought it was so boring, man. I know I'm impatient, but I can watch long stuff and not fall asleep. Like I can watch indie films all the time. That sounds mean, but like that movie was so boring. It was pretty as hell, and it was like I thought it was cheesy in the dumb way. I thought it was not smart. I thought it was very pseudo intellectual. Um, I like Paul Dano, but that performance, whatever. My point is, I heard nothing, and you guys can agree with this. I have seen maybe one actual review from someone who seems to have like actual like art style. Like his platform is settled. I saw like one. I don't like that movie. Everyone else, you guys know this, perfect 10, right? Okay, maybe I'm getting it even mixed again. Okay, whatever. I haven't heard anything great about this game, but I do think it's great. Like I think it's actually really good. I'm trying to let it sink in. Again, I forgot a lot of stuff, and I might be just like whiting out all the crap I don't want to remember about the game. I just remember combat sections feeling very long. I don't like a lot of weird story beats. Um, and some of the writings and like some scenes. But there's like, oh, this game is long, and I feel like I don't know. Maybe it's because it was more consistent, right? It's not like there were just highlights. Not like there was like a cool moment. No, it was like a huge chunk of the game, and I do again think it was with Abby was super enjoyable, right? Like it was actually like really cool. And like they kept on escalating, had new set pieces, had like characters like yeah, we didn't switch out our characters as often either. I know we didn't do that with Ellie, but it felt like that. Like I didn't feel like Dina had a lot of presence, even though she was really good. I like Dina being there. I don't know, like the dynamic again. Maybe it's because we don't have a solidified dynamic, right? So when we meet Lev, we're strangers, and Yara. Like I was sad when Yara left too because I was like, oh man, she suffered all this crap. But again, I don't like it when characters are actually fighting and losing and they don't win and they're fighting so hard. Um, but I think she got a worthy death. She took out the leaders, but she protected her brother. Um, oh man, yeah, they did not touch Lev either. I still don't know if he's dead. Like, I don't know if he survived the way Abby survived. I mean, Abby was like, she had a lot of, let's say, reserves to like starve. You know what I mean? God, I cannot get over small Abby. That's like the worst thing I've ever seen. Like, I hate when I see characters like lose like okay, like I don't like people judging her for being superficial, but there's not a single person who can't identify Abby through the way she looks. And to her, like, and again, it was like the two things. It wasn't even just her muscles. It was her freaking braid. They even cut her braid off. She looked just awful. Like at least our haircut kept on changing too, but we look cute. And like Abby was still recognizable by the end. Of course, by like when she's playing guitar, she lost her fingers. She looks just sad. Oh my god, the sound of the frets not working. Oh yeah, yeah. When I was bringing that up, I listened to Iroh's song from Avatar, and like that instrument that they use, it sounds so clunky and like off, and I was like, why? Why does it like it works? It hurts hearing like those plucks and like even the guy just played it without the vocals on top of it. And I was like, damn, that instrument is like powerful. I would never know what the hell to play on something like that, but it's so powerful the way it's not tuned. I don't know how to say it. Yeah, so I don't know what to talk about, guys. I just want to gush about the game, and like no one's gonna gush with it because no one liked the game that I talked to. Maybe I don't know. No one talks about the stuff I like talking about the way I talk about it. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, it was fun." 24 hours. It was like 25 hours, dog. That's all you got? No, no, no. It was fun. I didn't like Abby. It was cool. It's like, oh, yeah, why didn't you like Abby? Oh no, she was a bitch. Oh man. But yeah, like I don't know. I kind of really dug it. I'm trying to think about where I know at a certain point I was just exhausted, but I do think that was solely combat and some poor writing outcomes. And again, it feels really after the fact because I didn't love Abby's friends, but I definitely liked them. I was like, oh, well, it's a shame you're gonna die. Like, you better enjoy your last 2 days, Owen. Sorry. And Mel, you're looking pretty pregnant. Don't know why you're worrying. I don't know why you wouldn't want to appear pregnant later on. I don't know how that could do anything but help your life expectancy. Um, but yeah, man, I love the boss battle with Ellie. I actually thought that was super surprising. Again, it makes it feel like Abby's game, which is why I don't know. Maybe they like it felt like Abby's game, but with a lot of Ellie, and that's like really weird. Because Ellie just has one singular thing happen, but it just takes so long for it to happen. Um, man, I don't know. Like, there's so many moments in here that were like crazy, cool, and impactful. Um, yeah, I still adore Ellie. I just feel sad for her. She did get like such a tragic ass ending. At least Abby still left with like some hope. But again, that's where the decisions. Again, I think the only thing that really keeps Abby, mm, that like keeps her from people liking her that much is yeah, she completed her revenge story. She was a villain, literal. Like it's not like it was right or wrong. No, she was like evil, right? Like in an understandable way. She went like full evil, and I figured out she didn't want to do that. She got to finish the story that Ellie didn't finish. So in my perspective, that makes like Ellie like she was just a better person. Like she didn't want to just murder, and she knew she didn't want to take away these things that someone had taken from her. And that makes more like yeah, it makes sense. Like Ellie, I would have liked her to go a little bit dark, but yeah, I mean they brought her dark at that last point where she's basically like, I'll fucking kill Lev, fight me, and that was sad. Like fight me, like she didn't even want to just kill her, she wanted to fight. Like this whole game was like Ellie. At a certain point, Ellie was just punishing herself, right? And I think, oh man, like I don't know. I feel like she actively hurt Dina just to punish herself because of this survivor's guilt, right? Because she was like, I was supposed to save the world. I'm the only one who could have saved the world, and look what you did. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I felt like. I felt like this was like a long experience in like self harm. Because again, like, I don't want it to sound this way, but I think you guys can agree that let's say most of you, I don't know what all you guys are doing. Maybe some of you are like really cool scientists and inventors, but I think we can agree that most of us on this planet will not have an impact on anyone else, not on a large factor of the planet. In like in the nicest way, I'm fine with my value of my life, but my life, especially compared to someone like Ellie, is not valuable, right? I could be doing nothing and I wouldn't be betraying anyone, right? I don't have to have that on me. If I just decide to sleep today, I don't take anything from anyone, right? You know what I mean? But Ellie's life, and she recognizes it like she's the only immune person. I'm glad they didn't take that away from her, that she is the only immune person. And in a way, that's like her biggest poison. That's what like guarantees her to like want to die. I thought if Ellie was gonna die in this game, it would have been for that sole purpose. Which I don't know if that was their like get out of jail card by killing apparently the only man who can make the vaccine, right? Um, yeah, but oh man, yeah, I'm glad. It's almost interesting that we didn't make it about people trying to get Ellie back, even though technically that's what a part three would be about, right? Because Ellie is alive. Abby was supposed to join the Fireflies. Their entire goal is to create the vaccine, and there's only one immune person. But yeah, for to know that your life could have been the world, like could have been the second coming to the world, and you weren't even allowed to make that decision. Yeah, I don't know. I did hear something about a part three. I didn't really want to look at it because I wasn't done with part two, of course. I again, I don't know. Maybe this time I would want a sequel that just lets Ellie be happy because she did walk away from the path. I really would have liked her meeting up with Dina. I know that would have been like too perfect, and they made it more focused on Joel. But again, Joel is the past, guys. Joel is gone. Like Joel is here, but he's gone. Like Dina is the life. She's the light. She's the actual chance at family and a happiness. And I do wish we saw Ellie. Which she came back to it, but of course Dina had left, which makes sense. Um, but I would have liked that. I'm hoping, I'm hoping Dina is too blinded by her love to still accept, you know, Ellie. But oh man, what a heartbreaking ending. Yeah, I dug the boss battle with Ellie, and I was losing my shit because I was watching Mars play. I did not know how many ways Ellie could kill you. When she got Molotoved, I lost my shit. I was like, oh my god, that girl can throw bottles. That's my weapon. Um, man, but that final bout, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going pretty high on this. This is gonna take forever to render. That final bout with Abby, and it was just so dark and depressing, and Abby was just so weak. Like seeing her go for her little arm break tactic and not being able to get it done. Oh Jesus. Yeah, I thought that was smart. I think it's smart to like. I mean, I always assume competence with writers, even though they seem to prove me wrong. But when I see it done right, right, and like when I can like I can muster up a theory, like okay, that's probably why this should be impactful, right? I usually lean towards that. Um, yeah. So even if you hate Abby, hopefully you can have some respect for like how she looks, like in terms of like yeah, she's big. She was very strong. So seeing her at the end, like I don't know, were people like, yeah, pendejo, you suck. Like were they like that? Um, because I don't know, it was just hard seeing her like that. Like one of my favorite moments in Naruto, it's not even one of mine, like it's Zabuza. And when Naruto says like Naruto doesn't like Zabuza, clearly like Zabuza's the villain, but during his like big speech, he's like, and this is weird because the subtitles I saw were a little bit different, but I'm perfectly fine with the apparently the proper translation. But the subtitles I saw, which is how I remember it, says, "If I were to become as strong as you, would I start to act like that?" And I was like, dude, that is so depressing. Like, how many? I'm trying to think, and I love when that's the relationship when the hero respects aspects of the villain, and is just so disappointed in how they're carrying like the path that they're walking. I think that's so sad that you have someone mature enough to recognize like you're a great person. You're just you're not healthy for my own goals. Um, but yeah, I I I hope people got that, even if they hate Abby, because I know people do. That's all I've heard. I've heard like the span of this game coming out, and like obviously it's been a while. But all I knew, and I never even knew what she looked like until like semi started seeing pictures of her pop up, but they drew her like grotesquely. And all I could hear was like, fuck Abby. Like, hate Abby. Oh, you wanna play Last of Us 2? The gameplay is great, but the story's so fucking ass. Abby is. You hate Abby. Every single person. Right? Um, it's like Until Dawn. Like, I know, like, Emily's a bitch. That's her character. But I liked that like even when people had to play her, they were like kind of bitter. They're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna get her killed," which is why there's something very genius they did with her gameplay. But at a certain point, people were like, "You know what? This girl is fighting, and I've been fighting alongside her. Basically, I don't want her to die." And I like that. I was like, that. I like this interesting. Like they're fighting so hard. Um, and you can respect that even if you don't like the person. I really like that aspect, and so I felt like that towards Abby. Again, I didn't hate her the way a lot of people did. Maybe that's why I didn't. Don't know what kind of swayed me to his side, but I was just curious. I just wanted to know why are you killing my father? All right, why are you bashing his head in? Why are you so angry? Um, but yeah, seeing her all week and haircut, oh my god, because like she had never changed her hair. I believe even when she was a kid, did she not have the braid? Like that was like her look. I hate that. Like I don't want to. That's why I get upset about like the gender crap because like why are we so focused on the gender? Like I miss just good freaking characters and like I've been watching a lot of old movies which pisses me off because that's where all the great people are. Like Sarah Connor. So I was watching like videos talking about how like why it's very hard to do this of course. Like search up like bad female characters. You'll get like I shit you not. If I searched up like bad female characters, because I just want to know like what are some bad female characters that people actually agree on? Like, oh, this is a poor. Like maybe you'll get Bella. Apparently, I never really watched Twilight, but people don't like Bella. I get that. That's an easy one. That's an easy one. I want to hear about like characters that people have like mixed thoughts about. Right? You will literally get bad male characters bad female characters that would be loved if they were male. And I was like, I don't even know if I want to click on that article. That seems like you're trying to get a very specific demographic. Um, yeah, Sarah Connor is a fantastic character. I was like really shaken up when she like falls to the floor in Terminator 2. Um, but yeah, I like Abby. I think she's a pretty damn good character. I don't know. Maybe I forgot some stuff. I like her character. I like how she doesn't change easy. Like she's having nightmares about. I almost kind of wish. we would have seen more of her killing Joel. In terms of like the way Ellie's seeing it, I don't know. It would have been this really, because like, Ellie and Abby are already connected through the deaths of their fathers. But I don't know, how creepily haunting would it be for Abby to basically have the same nightmares as Ellie, but just on the other side. Like imagine Ellie like, like going down. That would have been awesome. Imagine that. Imagine Ellie has the nightmare, but it's also Abby having the nightmare too. So like that was our transition. Like we'd see Ellie like, oh, this is Ellie's nightmare, and then it's not, because we see like Abby kind of watching Ellie like crying, angry, suffering, all this stuff, and she's actually shaken up about it too. Um, yeah, I think maybe the only maybe I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Abby found her peace a little bit too quickly, but I don't know how much time had passed. Like there, I guess it had been a few months, because Abby doesn't have a journal, which I don't want her to, in the way that's Ellie's thing. I like that they feel like different characters, even though they're written very similar in terms of beats and plot events, but they do feel very different, right? I do think Abby's a lot less likable than Ellie, but I don't think she's like a piece of crap character. Um, Man, I've been going on for a while. I'm getting thirsty. Yeah, this is why these are so long. You know what? Maybe I'll even cut this rant on its own little thing because it's so long. Yeah, I think that'll be the case. So I can go on for a little bit longer. I don't know if I can go on. Let's see. Yeah, I dug like the main characters. Again, when I think about all the main characters, I think Jesse was kind of weak. But again, I didn't want him getting shot. I like Jesse. It's just kind of, he's just there. He's fine. Tommy, I thought would have a little more presence. It was really not Tommy's thing. That's fine. I kind of figured. Yeah, that's again. I don't mean to go back to like the gender crap, but it seems to be the pattern to me that if you have a leading female, she's gonna be the leading female. There's if not the leading female, there's gonna be a lot of leading females, and if there are men, they're gonna be pretty fucking useless. I wouldn't say that's what this game did, but I would say it was just focused like on Ellie and Abby. Right? They come off as my main characters. Lev comes off as probably the best side character, because again, she gets a story. Um, yeah, I dug it. I'm trying to like think about things I didn't like that were really pertinent to why I wouldn't like it, but I think I pretty much enjoyed the majority of the game. I wonder if it would have been better if I binged it, because obviously when I was playing at first, I wasn't pacing to the game. I was pacing to myself. But once my hours started going to like an hour and 30 rather than just an hour, it felt a little more like chapter based, and it felt correct. Um, I don't know if that hurt it. I hope I don't have to do that too many times, but I think that will probably be my practice from now on, which is why I'm worried, because my next game I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Final Fantasy VII, the remake, and I'm dreading how long that shout's gonna take. Hopefully, I can like. Oh my god! I hope it's not too long. I do think this game is too long, but that's because that's a very personal thing. I know people like these 30 to 40-hour games, and I'm like, dude, why? You know what that means to me? That means a whole entire month, which is basically what this was, an entire month of playing one game, because I paced myself around an hour. And even, if I press it up a little bit, it's an hour and 30. Like, yeah, basically spent the whole month playing this game. I'm so glad to be done with it, but what a miserable ending. In a good way. I thought it was really good. Like, I'm glad Ellie just kind of gave it up, and it was like it's tragic either way. You know what I mean? Like when there's a certain like funnel, like the ending's gonna be tragic. Like even if you didn't like Abby, if she killed Abby, it would have been so depressing, because like now you have Lev with no one. Still not sure if he's alive. He's definitely out, and he like I think he was moving a little bit when we put the knife to his throat. But he was like very weak, possibly brain dead, just because of that hit. Man, I don't know. That's a big guy. That's a little kid. Um, yeah, it's gonna be dark either way. I think it's they stacked it on there by cutting off her fingers. I thought that was horrible, guys. That is haunting to me. And they did end it on that sad note that she was like, I want to have my father back. And then it got taken from her, which justifies, you know what I mean? Excuse justify, I don't know what anyone would say. It makes sense that she was so angry, right? Like in a metaphorical sense, she had killed Joel. Killed Joel in a way where he was still alive. And then she finally wanted to bring him back to life. Abby came and took away all of that. Oh, yoy, man. Um, I just wish Abby like said sorry or something, but I get it. I completely get it. She had her own little journey. That was her father. Very close. Doesn't seem like there was a mother in sight. Also, she's very masculine. I'm sure they had a lot of stuff to do together. Um, but yeah, I like it. It's a very ugly, very ugly look at revenge. I wish it was a little bit darker in terms of Ellie's side. I think Abby's fit actually pretty well. I like that Abby suffered basically just as much trying to do something quote unquote the right thing, right? The good thing. Um yeah, and like she just sees what all the hate is. And I like that Owen is a big part of that. I don't think Owen gets they didn't make it a flare because as much as like Abby keeps on disagreeing with Owen, like she was a lot more like Owen before she lost her father, right? Before she lost her light, let's say. And I kind of wish she was a little angrier about Owen. I feel like Mel being a pregnant woman dead is you see what I mean? How that like that gives impact, which I didn't think it gave that much impact to Ellie's side, but for Abby's, it really should have been an Owen focused thing because they loved each other, right? Um, but yeah, like she's I like that her focal point was not the guitar, but the dreams and the aquarium, which was Owen. And Owen was, yeah, I love that. I love his delivery in that line because it sounds like so human. It's like, Abby, I'm tired. I don't want to fight over land. I don't give a fuck. It's like, what the hell am I fighting for? I don't want to fight anymore. I thought that was so, like, what? And such a normal, and that's what made it stand out. Like, he's just like, I don't know, man. This guy was just ready for me to kill him. He was like me. Amazing. Um, I'm sure the cheating didn't help his character, but I don't know how relationships are in this freaking thing anymore. That's fine. Hey, Dina's pregnant. She didn't cheat. Right? There was semi an understanding of that relationship. I don't know if it was like that with the other one. Uh, I mean, I want to talk about it. I'm running out of things to talk about. I like the gameplay. A lot of movement. Very Uncharted 4. It feels like Uncharted 4 grounded and maybe even perfected in terms of just like I don't know, you know what? It's a grounded version of Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4 really works because of the speed and the mobility that you have. And here it's like you're so pinned down by enemies that like that's why you use that mobility. So it's still really good. It's just there's so much of it. Gun combat is it's pretty standard, but gets the job done so much faster. Yeah, I thought the inclusion of dogs. I was surprised it was like just dogs. First of all, I thought they were infected dogs, and they were not. They were just trained, very well trained, and I hated them. I didn't deal with a lot of them though. I'm glad they didn't overrun you. I don't think there was like a single section where there was like they're send the pack of dogs out, and it makes sense because they just didn't have that many dogs, right? Kind of. They had quite a few, but they didn't take too many to go because they have so many people. Um, man, yeah, Abby lost everything too. Yeah, Ellie took away everything but Lev, right? Because she slaughtered all her friends, and then Abby kind of sacrificed her entire team to defect with Lev. Yeah, it would have been super dark if Ellie just killed Lev. I don't know. I wouldn't have wanted that. Nor did I want her to really kill Abby, but I would have been fine with that. Um, but she figured it out more and more. She just didn't want it wasn't worth it, basically, right? I don't know. I liked it a lot. I might even say I loved it, but I'm just trying to think about like I'm letting it sink in, guys. Like this kind of ending with this, like same way Last of Us. Last of Us, you had to let it sink in. Like Inception, you had to let it sink in. Those are the kind of endings. Um, this one wasn't like Last of Us, so I'm glad they didn't go for like the same ending, even though I would have been fine with it. I think I wanted just a little more Joel. I really do wish there was just a little more Joel. I wish. I mean, I guess fine. I don't think the other characters need to stand out, because I think Ellie and Abby just stand out so much as characters. So I think it's fine. I don't need everyone to be like glorious. I don't need Mass Effect. um, I really dug it. It was really good. I'm sad, and I want to watch. I'm gonna watch like a bunch of other people react to the ending and stuff like that. Um, yeah, very, very. This is the kind of modern story I like. Modern tendencies, but not modern bias. I didn't feel modern bias in here. You guys know what I mean. Hopefully, you guys, if you guys are aware. But yeah, I felt modern tendencies, and that's kind of natural. Like that's what the world is now. We can have trans characters, we can have Asian, black characters. Even I think there were Spanish people too, right? There's a very eclectic collection of characters. We can have them be prominent characters, um, and not have the story. Oh God, my thing's about to shut. And not have the plot and everything like skewed in favor of them. There was no skewing here. Not a lot of skewing, unless it was like the main characters, but I kind of allow that. That's okay. Ellie's allowed to push doors that are very large. It's okay. I can suspend belief for that. That's fine. All right, I think I'm gonna cut out the 30, and then I'll have like two halves of these hour-long things. Oh man, yeah, I'm kind of thinking I really enjoyed that. Right? See, I could change. I didn't want to play two. I heard nothing positive about two. I liked it. Trying to think. Man, I want to hear these reviews because there's some people who are like doing like I like watching video essays and usually obviously they cover film, but gaming has really evolved concerning cinematics. So they covered this one. I don't know if I like that channel, but they covered it and I kind of want to see it. I know they called it messy, which again I just think it's the placing of things that make it messy. But like overall, I really enjoyed it. And again, I don't know. It was like the last hours of this game I was playing, dude, I was so into it. I was like ridiculously into it. And I really do believe it's because Abby's design of her story is like Last of Us. Like a classically designed story where it keeps on escalating more and more. There's not this non-linear approach to it. There was less combat and more platforming. Like it felt like more like Uncharted as well, where Uncharted has like combat separated and platforming. Like again, people hate the platforming of Uncharted, so I wonder if that's why they started like, okay, so instead of just platforming, you'll also have combat. I'm like, no, like platforming is that's like the relaxing part of the game before you get back into like all the the cutscenes of it of tension and emotion, and then combat, and they're just a nice break to basically look at the beauty of the game while interacting with it ever so slightly. Of course, I know people hate like how easy it is. I'm like, yeah, I don't want platforming to be hard and Uncharted. I just want to mash X while semi just looking at like how high I'm getting. That's what Abby's felt like. And the thing is, they turned it into a set piece that was actually super calm. That bridge set. I'm gonna call it a set piece. That's what it feels like. And I love the voice acting there too. Like when she was like, he goes, "Can we just like?" First of all, Lev was like, "So what's happening with you and that guy?" He goes, "Shut it!" All right, that was cute. Um, and then yeah, she's like, "Can we just be proud that I just did that? Don't thank me yet." Abby's delivery on why why? Okay, really quick. So I know her name, her actor name is Laura Bailey, which I recognize the name, but I cannot for the life of me place her. Like, and I'll do that in a little bit. I'll be like, I could have sworn I've heard this name a lot, but I have no idea who this is. And I'm mad because I couldn't place it. Like Ashley Johnson, easy. Troy Baker, easy. You know what I mean? Okay, last 2 minutes. I don't know, man. I thought it was good. That was really good. I really liked that Abby's plot was as weird as it got, but it gave such a break away from this. Where's Abby? I want Abby, Abby, right? Because we got Abby. We don't need to look for her. Um, yeah, I understand. It's just a little bit sloppy, but I think it works with Abby's attitude towards Ellie, right? I don't think it was more of a we let you live and I can't believe you're coming after me. I think it was more of like Owen let you live. Like that was Owen's decision. Everyone everyone wanted to, beat the crap and finish off Ellie and Tommy. Owen was the only one until Abby, like Abby is already going through her own little turmoil. But yeah, that's how I kind of translated that one. Like you just killed the love of her life, and like I think that's why Abby even wanted to gut Dina even more, right? It's like, oh, I can tell. Um, but yeah. Oh man, small Abby, small braidless Abby. Oh dear, that was sad. Sunburnt, skinny Abby. So sad. And that last fight was a brutal, disgusting like brawl. It sold all the emotions. Yeah, that's my problem with. Yeah, I'm going a little bit over time again. That's my problem with action sequences nowadays. Like again, unpopular opinion. I like hate John Wick's action. I love the style and stunts, but all together, like I get so bored watching John Wick. Like I almost fell asleep during that third movie. That third movie is just awful, guys. By the way, like let's not like a two has some good scenes. Two has one fantastic action sequence in it. One, it's got some good ones too. But three's got some great ideas. But holy hell, that movie is boring. Anyways, this game, I don't feel like it forgot. I mean, it was very simple to kind of tell the story, which is just pure fucking hatred. Especially on Ellie's side. But their fights really sold that. You know what I mean? They fought flailing and like nasty. It wasn't like heavily choreographed, which it clearly was, but it looked so nasty and aggressive with all the biting and stabbing and choking and like my god, that's how you do it. Like if for this particular one, I like that there was a lot of character and story in the action sequences. It was really good, and I love it when they can actually like again, like I've seen so many things and played so many things that like it's almost hard to keep me tense, right? And this one got it. Like I thought, Dina could have gone, Ellie could have gone, right? Um, this game did really well with that aspect. All right, I think that's it. I kind of adored it. I'll let it sink in. Maybe my opinions will change. I kind of adored it. Same thing for like Batman. Maybe my opinions will change. I didn't like it that much, but maybe it'll change. I'm not gonna rewatch it anytime soon, but maybe it'll change. I'm not replaying this game anytime soon either, so it can live pretty strong in my memory. Kind of adored it. I was curious why people hated Abby. Kind of dig her as a character. Um, I'm sad for Ellie, but I think they kept her character pretty intact. No Ghost Joel. Very thankful for that. Every scene that Joel was in, and I know like I wanted to see more of Joel, and I understand like less is more, but think about how much more and more is. That's a Frasier line. I think we could have had more Joel, and it still would have been effective. Because let's be honest, more Joel does not mean like less of Ellie and Abby, right? Okay, maybe it means more of Ellie, but there was so little of him in this entire game. Yes, it makes those scenes stand out all that more, but I do feel like we could have used like a little more me, like a little more of Joel reaching out to Ellie and Ellie rejecting her, and then we get like I don't know, a little more love between them, a little more hate between them, just some Joel. I mean, they understand Joel's impact as a character and his presence, which is why they did, they still kept him in the game. And of course, that final closing sequence. All right, I'm way over time, guys. I kind of loved it. I kind of really dug it. I feel like the last game I didn't like for Naughty Dog was Lost Legacy, and I thought they kind of lost it. I don't know what else they put out. But if it was this, I don't know. Maybe they still got it. I did hear like a lot of. This is around the time with a lot of behind the scenes trouble. Um, I kind of dug this. This is pretty good. So I'm wondering if all the liberal clashing controversy, whatever the hell you want to call it, like ruined this game for everyone else. And I get that. I really do. Hearing that girl skip basically the entire bridge section, not even like I mean at a certain point, I don't even know if she figured out. I don't know when she figured out Abby was scared of heights. Um, yeah, I don't know. Okay, yeah. Here's the last thing I want to talk about. Relatability. I feel like too many people want relatable characters. And this is like a mean way of saying this. in a pretentious way of bragging, I guess. I just want to connect, right? I don't have a lot of similarities, let's say, to Ellie or Abby. I'm definitely not as large as Abby, but like I can connect to both their characters. I don't even have a fear of heights. Not really. I got a fear of falling to my death. I think that's normal, but like we can argue about that. But like when you connect to another character and actually connect to them, you can feel that. You can empathize, sympathize, sympathize at best. You know what I mean? But empathize if you can. Um, I don't know, you get like a lot more out of it. But a lot of these people, I don't know how to say it. Again, it sounds cold and mean, but you guys know what I mean. I feel like a lot of people just want to connect with themselves. They want to see themselves on screen. That's why this like need for representation is kind of like crazy amount. And like again, I'm all up for representation, diversity. Just like do it good. My God. But I don't know. A lot of people are just more consumed, I think, with connecting with themselves, which is why like they need a character that's like them, right? And when people don't like these characters, they take it super personally. Um, like I know why people don't like Abby. I just want to know like if is that the only reasons? Like, I mean, did the story not work for you? Yada yada. All right, that's what I'll leave it as. I mean, I connected with both Ellie and Abby. And Lev, sadly Yara. Even Joel, Tommy, everybody. Like, I thought the cast of characters was really good. Some of them were weak, but it's not like they dragged down the thing. It's not like they were big weak characters. I think all the big characters were great. Unless I'm just saying like weak characters they don't come off as big. Ah, man. All right, I'm sad and happy to let this game go. I'm gonna go like it's not even over for me because I'm gonna be digging into all these people's thoughts. Maybe I'll grab some men. I feel bad because now I realize I've just been kind of like watching women. It's because I like watch one and then they'll recommend me like another female gamer and I'm like okay yeah and like yeah sometimes it's just like oh you're kind of cute yeah let's watch it. You suck at the game but you're like really into the story and you have like some thoughts to say, but I haven't grabbed a lot of men. I'm gonna grab some men. It's because I talk with men. That's why. I don't already have the perspective of them. All right, I'm gonna go. Oh, I'm sad. All right, outro. Fuck it, outro. That was my Last of Us 2 Part 2 play. I kind of adored it. It was very sad. It was very fun. It's very cool. It was hot. All my girls are hot. I was a good looking girl. um, I mean, again, I don't really care about the trans thing. I think it's just sad that it's like that's why it's sad. Yeah, I liked it. It was exciting. It was cool. It was emotional. God, it was emotional. It was depressing. It was dark. It was hopeful. It was a lot of things. It was like such a blockbuster of a movie. I'm really hoping they don't screw up that adaptation. But yeah, that's Last of Us 2, guys. Loved it for now. Always unsure. Bye. Ta ta.